Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, how are you? Oh, wait, we gotta try that all over again. Hey, how are you? Okay, listen, I'm your host, Donald Trump, and you're listening. Listen, we're gonna take over the show. We're making it great again. This is the Stafford Voice, okay? We're taking it over. We're gonna make things great again. Oh my God, Hillary showed up. This is absolutely creepy. Okay, absolutely creepy. I didn't realize Hillary was coming onto the show, okay? I almost wet myself, okay? But listen, okay? This is the Stafford Voice. It's a great, great show, okay? We're here to make it great again. The show is conservative in a world of liberal, okay? And tonight we're making Halloween great again. We're making it great again. Okay, so I want to remind you there's many ways to listen. So set this channel, turn the dial, make sure it's your favorite, okay? Seriously, this show is bigly, okay? It's huge. You don't want to get left behind because for some strange, crazy reason you missed the show, okay? Just sit tight because some guy out there, he's gonna make the replay great again. So just sit tight. There's no need. He's got you, okay? I'm huge. I'm Donald Trump. You can find him over on the Twitters at Stafford Voice. Look him up on the Facebooks as well, okay? I'm doing great things over on the Facebooks, okay? I made Twitter's great again. We're making it great again on this show. Wherever you're at out there in this, just search for the things, okay? Okay, it's bigly. I can't do it anymore. Watching, out. As you can tell, orange. The wig, you gotta admit, this wig. Okay, but let's get things going. As we talk about and catch, you follow the, you know, and Saturday people come that was saying they were advertising. Really know why, but to go watch the video that we see just how much of a we got invited like a song. They're making dreams great again. Good things about if you know GO, their menu is they should have done it. And looking at how things about but it is what it is. Let's dive into the bottom. Things look right now, well, they just don't. Worst nation. Don't care if you think you can wipe pretty much kiss your credibility. Is and right now as a nation because we walked tall and carried it. We're being caught. Do we who you think or anyone the two most viable or the other big time party. Right? Wrong. You wrong. Remember, still a vote for yes. It's not a vote for the other side at all. It's a for who you think is best. It's a vote telling all the other parties and groups that you are sick and tired of their games and that you don't like either of whatever they're trying to feed down your throat. The truth is that the better candidate isn't even running. They're out there somewhere taking their kids to a school program or to a church function or sitting at their kitchen table trying to figure out how they're going to make payroll. We are still America. We are the best and the brightest the world has ever seen. And I'll admit, it's really easy to say all of those things. It's easy to say to vote your conscience. It's easy to say vote your values and morals. What's not easy is standing on principle and doing what you say. Unfortunately, we live in a society that tries to force you into a predetermined box. And like sheep being led to slaughter, they fall right in line. It's time to send a clear message. It is time to take a stand. That time is here, and it is now. And that is the bottom line. Now, here is what I fear. No matter what, we're seeing something ugly unfold. And that is by way of Clinton and those darn emails again. And as you guys know, the FBI has decided to take another look at Hillary's emails. And thanks to a little wiener and his estranged wife, Huma Abedin, investigators have found 650,000 emails on a laptop that they believe was used by Weiner and Abedin. What they don't know is if they were sent to or from Clinton's private server. One of the most involved reports out there on this issue came by way of the Wall Street Journal, and here's what they are reporting. And I've got some long notes here that I pulled from their article about this, and they say that the officials had to await a court order to begin reviewing the emails, which they received over the weekend, according to a person familiar with the matter, because they were uncovered in an unrelated probe of Mr. Weiner. It is really unnerving to talk about the Wiener. I don't know about you, but it's kind of creepy. Anyway, so this new investigative effort disclosed by FBI Director James Comey on Friday shows a bureau at times in sharp internal disagreement over matters related to the Clintons and how to handle those matters fairly and carefully in the middle of a national election campaign. And even as the probe of Miss Clinton's email use wound down in July, internal disagreements within the Bureau and the Justice Department surrounding the Clintons' family philanthropy heated up, according to people familiar with the matter. The latest development began in early October when New York-based FBI officials notified Andrew McCabe, the Bureau's second-in-command, that while investigating Mr. Weiner for possibly sending sexually charged messages to a teenage minor, they had recovered a laptop. Many of these 650,000 emails on the computer, they said, were from the accounts of Miss Abedin, according to, again, people familiar with the matter. Those emails stretched back years, these people said, and were on a laptop that hadn't previously come up in the Clinton email probe. In their initial review of the laptop, the metadata showed many messages, apparently in the thousands, that were either sent to or from the private email server at Miss Clinton's home that had been the focus of so much investigative effort for the FBI. At a meeting early last week of senior Justice Department and FBI officials, a member of the department's senior national security staff asked for an update on the Weiner laptop. Again, it is so weird to talk about the Weiner. I can only imagine how the nasty taste that it leaves in Hillary's mouth whenever she has to publicly talk about Weiner. Anyway, at that point, officials realized that no one had acted to obtain a warrant. So Mr. McCabe then instructed the email investigators to talk to the Weiner investigators and see whether... It's so funny to talk about Wieners all night long. Apparently, they're making Wieners great again. Okay, I'm seeing you guys over in the YouTube chats. Hey, Slick of Rebel Road Tactical. Woot woot, you made it. Yes, awesome. Hopefully I didn't scare the crap out of you with the Trump makeup and you know, beautiful. It's beautiful, okay? It's making the comb over great again, okay? It's absolutely disgusting what Hillary Clinton has done to this nation. Listen, okay? The best part of Hillary Clinton was the brown stain on the bed sheets, okay? That's what she's doing to America. You didn't hear from me. I'm just saying what you guys say, okay? Hey, Tina, I see you over there in the chat as well. Hillary don't know nothing about wieners. No, she doesn't. Only BJ Clinton knows about wieners. Love the do. Thanks, Tina. It's great. Again, we've made this show and Halloween great again. Slick, I see you over in the KLRN chat as well. Nice to see you monitoring things over there. Glad you didn't run. I'd have had to lead you a couple of feet from this range. I'm not. I don't. You're talking about Yes, he does. Oh, we're talking about Clinton, BJ Clinton, and he's the only one that knows about wieners. Actually, I think Monica's the one that knows about all the wieners. Anyway, so we're talking about, let's continue on about this whole thing. And we're going to toss it off to the side because I'm done. Oh, Justin Adams has joined the show. Monica Lewinsky knows about wieners. That is right. So, wait a minute. Slick and Tina, you guys were at the range shooting? Let me know in the chat. I want to know more about this. By the way, if you guys don't know who Slick is, Slick and Tina own and operate Rebel Road Tactical. They make the best Kydex holster on the market. They make them by hand, custom made here in the USA, right down in the heart of Texas. And by the way, if you wanted to place an order, if you do so between now and the end of the year, if you mention that you heard it here on the show, you will get 10% off your entire order. They have made ordering custom Kydex holsters great again. Again, check them out over at rebelroadtactical.com. So let's get back to this. We're just kind of summarizing this whole disgusting thing here. Nope, probably going to the range Thursday. Gosh, I need to get to the range myself. I need to polish up on some things. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I got to do it. And I need to order a holster anyway, so Slick, I'll be contacting you. I need to get one. Anyway, so let's get back to this, shall we? Mr. Comey was given an update and decided to go forward with the case and notified Congress on Friday with explosive results. Easiest way to order is to call me. Unfortunately, I don't have that up on the screen. Slick, do me a favor. Put the number and the contact information in the YouTube chats so they know how to get in contact with you. I've got your stuff stored on my phone so I can easily call you at any given moment. We're going to make ordering holsters great again, okay? Listen, rebelroadtactical.com, it's the only custom Kydex holster on the market you need to be worried about. Rebel Road Tactical, they make Kydex holsters great again, okay? Take my word for it. Okay, I'm not going to say everybody else on the market sucks, but I'm going to say everybody else on the market sucks. Listen, these guys are made in the USA. They're making things great in America. Great again, okay? RebelRoadTactical.com. Oh. I absolutely am sick and tired of wearing this stupid wig. This is the things that we do for you guys. Can you see the look of desperation on my face? Okay, let's get back to it. Senior Justice Department officials had warned the FBI that telling Congress would violate policies against overt actions that could affect an election. And some within the FBI have been unhappy at Mr. Comey's repeated public statements on the probe. It is hilarious to be talking about probes and Wiener all in the same story. And at some point, we have to throw in BJ Clinton while we're talking about the probe and, oh my God, Hillary Clinton. I don't know if you guys can hear that. If you can see on the show, look right here. We have brought on Hillary Clinton as well for the show. That woman creeps me out. Okay? So, oh my... Oh, no, I don't want to take a look at you. Oh, whatever, lady. So, according to a person familiar with the probes, again, On August 12th, the senior Justice Department official called Mr. McCabe to voice his displeasure at finding that New York FBI agents were still openly pursuing the Clinton Foundation probe. Again, listen, the Wall Street Journal has single-handedly made probes great again. I can't recall how many times I've ever used the word probe in reporting a story. Hey, that's my prom date in the background there. You're going to Slick, if you openly admit that you dated, or that your prom date back in high school was Hillary Clinton, I'm moving on. I'm not even going there. Not doing it. So they're completely beside themselves that people are even continuing to look at the Clintons and the Clinton Foundations during this whole thing. So the Justice Department official was very PO'd, according to one person close to Mr. McCabe, and pressed him to explain why the FBI was still chasing a matter the department considered dormant. Others said the Justice Department was simply trying to make sure FBI agents were following long-standing policy not to make overt investigative moves that could be seen as trying to influence an election. Aliens and stuff, you know. You never went to the prom? We went to the prom. Wife and I did. Together. We had to find a babysitter. But anyway, those rules discourage investigators from making any such moves before a primary general election, and at a minimum, checking with anti-corruption prosecutors before doing so. I'm making my comb over great again. Mr. McCabe, I don't know how the hell you pronounce this guy's name. He says, quote, "Are you telling me that I need to shut down a validly predicated..." Sorry, let me start his quote over here. "Are you telling me that I need to shut down a validly predicated investigation?" He pauses, and then he continues, "Of course not." The fact... Exactly, Tina. I was abducted by aliens. Slick is saying that he's admitting that he was abducted by aliens, and they showed me probes and wieners. Sad face. Tina says in the YouTube chats, "Bah ha ha ha." I don't know if that's something we should laugh at or seriously look into finding some counseling and providing some for Slick, because it sounds like he has been traumatized. But nonetheless, I'm done talking about that crap tonight, about wieners and probes and the Clintons, and we're gonna move on with the show, because I've got a rather interesting story after the break, and we're gonna talk about. As a matter of fact, we're talking about Amelia Earhart when we get back from the break. And then later on in the show, I've got a fantastic profiles in history lined up for you guys. Calling it PTSD. Yeah, it might be some of that involved. But nonetheless, we also have we've got an absolutely disgusting Who Said That lined up later on as well. So, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about if the mystery of Amelia Earhart has been solved. We'll be right back.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Nothing will protect you quite like your sidearm, so why not give it the protection it deserves? Something as strong as the Second Amendment and stands the test of time, and better yet, made in the USA. A Rebel Road Tactical Custom Kydex holster is that and more. Call now and place your order with Rebel Road Tactical at 682-217-4579. Again, 682-217-4579, or online at rebelroadtactical.com.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
All right, we are back, I'm done talking about your typical news that you're going to hear everywhere else. I'm done with it. We're putting it on the back burner for the rest of the night because we're making Halloween great again. I loved reading about her when I was a kid, says Tina. So, yes, that's what we're going to talk about. Let me ask this question. Let me start by asking this question, and that is, has the mystery of Amelia Earhart been solved? And if you're just now tuning in to... Oh my God, there's like wig hair everywhere. Oh, I'm going to have to clean up the studio. It needs it. Anyway. So I had to lose the wig. I had to lose the comb over wig. It was driving me insane. If there was an easier way I could get rid of some of this orange Trumpian mask, I would work on it. And as a matter of fact, if we take another break here shortly, I may try and find some baby wipes and do a field expedient bath. Anyway, so has the mystery of Amelia Earhart been solved? You have Trump fuzz in your do, man. Yeah, I know. It's okay. So, first off, who is Amelia Earhart? We've got some younger kids out there that are probably listening, and thanks to Common Core, they don't hear about stuff like this. So Amelia Earhart attempted to be the first female pilot to fly around the world, and her plane disappeared over the Pacific Ocean in 1937. But there's a new proposed theory by the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery. I think they shorten it down to TIGHAR. And that is that she landed safely on a remote island and died as a castaway. And I saw this. I actually saw this reported a couple of months ago, I think, and I retained it in the back of my mind because I wanted to look into it. But they're talking about this again, and I think that's because of what they're presenting now. Says that the scientists say that a new discovery shows a striking similarity between a pilot and the partial skeleton of a castaway found on an island in the country of Kiribati in 1940. And, get this, the most vital clue that they're using is a historical photo. Well, where is all this coming from? I don't want to say it was aliens, but it was aliens. Rubber Road Tactical is standing firm in the fact that aliens are behind everything tonight. Maybe Slick from Rubber Road Tactical has been abducted by aliens and he's trying to make them great again. Maybe, just maybe, he dressed up as an alien for Halloween. As you guys know, and I went as Donald Trump. Slick, if you're an alien for Halloween, do me a favor, take a picture and send it across the Twitters. I want to see that. Or if you have the scar on the back of your head that everybody says is present, I want to see it too. Anyway, if you have a tail and it wags, I want that would be really cool too. Anyway, so again, let's get back to this. So where's all this coming from? In August, TIGHAR's Rick Gillespie said Earhart made more than 100 radio transmissions calling for help between July 2nd and July 6th of 1937, ruling out the possibility of a crash landing. Her calls were picked up as far away as Texas, Florida, and even Melbourne. Mr. Gillespie went on to say, she's out there calling for help, and he added that she must have landed safely because the radio wouldn't have worked without the engine running. That's really what... Tina's the only one who gets to see the tail. Not that one. I'm talking about... Never mind. I was going with the whole movie reference. Anyway. Whatever. Oh, that's It's Halloween, everyone. Yes, it is. Okay. Sorry, I'm distracted by the chat tonight. We're making so many things great here tonight. Again, we're making a lot of things great. Anyway, so that was what really tipped me off to keep my eyes and ears open to anything coming out new on Amelia Earhart. We don't live very far from Atchison, Kansas, and we've talked about vlogging up in Atchison to see what they have up there in the way of Amelia Earhart stuff. Because yeah, it's history, and you guys know I love telling history. However, let's get back to this new stuff. They said that the bones were uncovered on the island of Nikumaroro, also known as Gardner Island, which is about 400 miles south of Howland Island. They were analyzed in 1940, but a doctor said they were male, ruling out the possibility that they belonged to Earhart. However, when Tighar discovered the files in 98, scientists said modern techniques proved the bones were, quote, consistent with a female of Earhart's height and ethnic origin. More recently, anthropologist Richard Jantz was preparing an updated evaluation when he noticed a strange detail. The skeleton's forearms were considerably larger than average. However, without knowing the dimensions of Earhart's body, Dr. Jantz had no way of comparing if her forearms were similarly longer than normal. Well, here's where things get interesting. Using a historical photo where both of Earhart's bare arms were visible, he calculated the ratio between the bones in her lower and upper arm. Quote, he went on to, in a report that he published last week, he says, quote, because there is tissue over the skeleton in living people, the location of each bone end must be estimated. He went on to say that her clothing also added a layer of difficulty, but he used the point of her shoulder, the crease of her elbow, and the indent of her wrist as landmarks. And, quote, in his writing, again, quote, given the evidence and my experience in the field of photogrammetry and photo interpretation, I estimate that the radius to humerus ratio of Amelia Earhart is 0.76. In other words, the difference between her lower and upper arm was virtually identical to the partial skeleton unearthed in the South Pacific. What does all of this prove? The discovery doesn't conclusively prove that the castaway was Amelia Earhart, but it's certainly another step in that direction. How cool is that even after all of this time, we are still trying to figure out exactly what happened. I mean, trust me, back in August when the information came out that where they were piecing everything together and saying, look, these radio transmissions that happened came from Amelia Earhart, I was blown away. I thought it was absolutely fascinating that many transmissions were made, and that it hadn't been talked about before. And I think that so many people, maybe Slick in the YouTube chats can attest to this, that maybe they were, saying that, hey, maybe aliens had a hand in all of this. Anyway, I just think it's fascinating that we continue to take a look at some of these things, like Amelia Earhart, and we try and piece these things together to come up with the most historically correct interpretation of what happened in history. I think it's incredible that science has progressed to this point that we're able to do these things, and it just blows me away that there's people out there that are into that stuff. He says, of course they did. He's saying that aliens had a way in it. Tina over in the chat says it's a shame she died that way. I totally agree. I mean, that is by far my worst fear in life, and that is being alone. You could take everything away from me except my wife and some choice family. Take all of that stuff away. As long as I have my wife, my son, his wife, and my parents, I'm set. That's all I need. And I mean, you guys as well. But that is my biggest fear. I don't honestly, currently at this stage in life, I don't fear death. I don't. I know it's a matter of fact that it's going to happen. I have no control over when or how it's going to happen. I can do my best to make sure that some of those ways are minimized, by making sure that I don't put myself in a situation where something crazy would happen. Flick says I can do alone as long as I know Tina, the kids, and the grandkids are safe. Again, but I mean, I would go absolutely insane if I was alone. We didn't even. So here's another thing that we did over the weekend, and shame on us for waiting this long in our life to get into it, but I think it's because of the vlogging that got us interested in it, and maybe partially because it's Halloween and we were looking for something slightly suspenseful and spooky to watch. But we watched an Alfred Hitchcock film, and we really got into it. I mean, we were dissecting it and this and that, and I personally didn't find it very suspenseful. I thought it was kind of comical in a couple of at a couple of spots. I thought that the cinematography of the whole thing, I thought, was by far well ahead of its time when it was produced, and that was back in the early 30s, I believe. Alfred Hitchcock was definitely pushing the limits. It was. I thought it was a great flick. We watched what was it called? The 39 Steps. That's right. It was called The 39 Steps. Sorry, I'm monitoring all of this. It's crazy. I really need an in-house producer to do all this crap for me. Anyway, but I was just checking over onto the Twitters, and good close friend of ours at Protopotamus on the Twitters. Looks like he's watching. I know he's probably working on some gaming stuff as well. He's a hardcore gamer. So thanks, Proto, if you're out there watching. But anyway, we watched Alfred Hitchcock, The 39 Steps. In the end, I was still sitting there thinking, well, I don't know what the 39 Steps are. I need a sequel. Anyway, it was great. There were times where we were laughing, and the show is bigly great. Let me, Protopotamus, I see you popped up in the YouTube chats. Let me know if you got to see the full-on Trump. If you didn't get to see it, let me know. Hit me up, and when we come back, I will. Oh God, Tina's agreeing with him. Tina, don't do that. It's probably going to give him a big head. Anyway, Proto, my brother from a pachyderm mother. Yes. Interesting little known fact about the Protopotamus. He has a pet pig, Pet pig's name is Penny. I got to see a picture of her yesterday. We met up at our friend's soft opening to the restaurant. Oh, you got to look at this. Protopotamus, check this out. You can screenshot this all you want and send it all over the place because we single-handedly... Okay, we made the show great again, okay? It took me coming on... I mean, listen, Profiles in History, great segment, okay? Who said that? It's okay, okay? I mean, he's never profiled me. I mean, I'm a Profiles in History. I've done great things. I've made bigly things, okay? We made it great again. We're making Halloween great again. Okay. Oh my God, Hillary Clinton, you're creeping me the hell out, Hillary. Oh, anyway, Hillary Clinton's scaring the crap out of me tonight. What are you saying wrong to, Proto? I want to know. Oh, wrong. Okay, I get it. You're going back. Wow. Any publicity is good publicity. I agree. Bigly. Okay, Bigly. Here's what's absolutely disgusting. The fact that somebody conducted an interview with Donald Trump to ask him whether he was saying Bigly or Big League. Who gives a crap? Let's just say he's saying Bigly. Who cares if he says Bigly? Okay, listen, Big League, okay? Big League, okay? We're making Big League great again, okay? You're fired. Wrong. No, you're the puppet, okay? Nope, I'm not a puppet, no puppet. You're the puppet, okay? You're the puppet. Hillary Clinton's a puppet. Don't hate me, but I hope that doesn't come off. Okay, another little known fact, obviously from Bigly is funnier. It really is, and it fits his persona. It fits the persona of the Trump. And by another little known fact about the Protopotamus, apparently his favorite color is, but Big League sounds so much better when switched. Big League is okay, but it doesn't fit his persona. And Justin Adams, this is the first time I've seen you join us in the YouTube chats. If you've made it this far into the show and you haven't shut us off, obviously it's for entertainment value. You've realized that we're light on the news stuff tonight, but we're just trying to have fun. It's Halloween. We're trying to make it great again, because all of this crap that's going on in the world is just somewhat depressing. So Justin, thanks for joining the show. If you like it, we're here every Monday night, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Join us. Share it with your friends. If anything, just sit there and make fun of us. I don't care. It's all in good fun, but I guarantee you're going to walk away learning something, and you'll probably either be entertained or extremely ticked off. But you know what? We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it is time for Profiles in History. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
Okay, we are back. Back from the dead. No, we're not back from the dead. Okay, look. I really hope this Cheetos crap comes off. It's not real Cheetos. I'm not Glenn Beck. It's actual orange face paint. I hope this crap comes off. I'll get it off no matter what if I have to get out the palm sander and take off the top layer of my skin. Anyway, let's get things going. Profiles in history. He stood 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at about 250 pounds, with a love of wine and food. Add to that a good sense of wit and humor. How could anyone tell this guy no? Benjamin Harrison V was born April 5th, 1726, in Berkeley Mansion at the family plantation in Charles City County, Virginia. He attended the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia, but never officially graduated due to a family tragedy. His father was carrying his 2 sisters while upstairs trying to close a window during a storm when lightning struck, killing all 3 on July 12, 1745. Harrison left college to return home to take over the family business. In 1748, he would marry his second cousin, Elizabeth Bassett. In total, they had 7 children. Soon afterwards, he became a member of the Virginia Colonial House of Burgesses. In 1764, he was on a committee to draft an official protest of the Stamp Act. He was very conservative in how he liked to handle things, and Patrick Henry's calls for civil disobedience just didn't fit the bill. By 1770, Benjamin was among the first signers of an agreement among Virginia lawmakers and merchants to boycott British imports until the British Parliament repealed its taxes on tea. And he joined in sponsoring a bill that declared certain laws passed by Parliament affecting Virginia subjects in the colony. Late in 1773, the Boston Tea Party occurred, and the British Parliament enacted punitive measures called by the colonies, that is, intolerable acts. Along with 88 other members of the Virginia Burgesses, on May 24th, 1774, they signed a new association condemning Parliament's actions, even agreeing to invite the other colonies to convene a Continental Congress. On August 5th, 1774, as one of 7 delegates to represent Virginia, Harrison set out, heading to Philadelphia, leaving his home state for the first time, arriving there on September 2nd for the First Continental Congress. Benjamin Harrison tended to gravitate to the older, more conservative of fellow delegates, while John Adams, was viewed as more radical. And these two could not be more opposite. Adams generally shunned unnecessary things that brought pleasure. Harrison relished in them. He was more aligned with John Hancock, while Adams sided more with Richard Henry Lee. Now, opinions of Benjamin Harrison were all aligned. Benjamin Rush said he was, quote, a useful member of Congress, sincerely devoted to the welfare of his country. Thomas Jefferson thought his short speeches were the, quote, most successful remarks ever heard in Congress. John Adams even once admitted he contributed many pleasantries that steadied rough sessions. One of those sessions, for example, was when some were considering choosing John Hancock as president of the Continental Congress. For Harrison, Hancock seemed too humble, so Harrison grabbed Hancock, a man the British so desperately wanted to bring across the ocean and tried for treason, and he put him in the president's chair. He said, quote, we shall show Mother Britain how little we care for her, unquote. Now, when the Second Continental Congress convened in May of 1775, Harrison resided in the same Philadelphian home as did Peyton Randolph and George Washington. After George Washington assumed command of the Continental Army, and after Randolph's death, Harrison continued to dwell there alone, albeit hosting many delegates so grandly he accumulated a debt he would spend the rest of his life paying off. His greatest honor at the Continental Congress was serving as chairman of the Committee of the Whole House. This put him in the position of chairing the deliberations that led to the adoption of the Declaration of Independence, even presiding over Lee's resolution on June 10th, 1776, to declare independence. On June 28, 1776, Jefferson's draft of the Declaration of Independence was reported to Congress, who resolved on July 1st that it be considered by Harrison's Committee of the Whole. Adopted in its final form on July 4th, Benjamin Harrison reported to Congress and delivered a final reading of the Declaration of Independence. It was unanimously agreed upon, and Congress resolved to have it signed by those present, which would later take place on August 2nd, 1776, during which Harrison joked with Elbridge Gerry, who was at the table signing. He said, quote, "I shall have great advantage over you, Mr. Gerry, when we are all hung for what we are now doing. From the size and weight of my body, I shall die in a few minutes and be with the angels. But from the lightness of your body, you will dance in the air an hour or two before you are dead." Unquote. Now, shortly afterwards, Harrison went back to Virginia and served in its legislature. From 1782 to 84, he also served as governor of Virginia. In 1789, he wrote about the, quote, "the distresses brought on me by the ravages and plunderings of the British have reduced me so low," and that his service in Congress, quote, "marked me out as a peculiar object of British vengeance, and which they did not fail to execute in the most outrageous manner when the fortune of war put my whole estate in their power." It was at the state convention to ratify the new Constitution in 1788 where Harrison, being skeptical of a foreseeably large central government, would oppose it because he thought basic rights should be incorporated in the text. But like other people who opposed the Constitution, he later supported it with the Bill of Rights amendments. In April 1791, Harrison was having a dinner party at his home in celebration of being re-elected once more to the state legislature. He fell ill and passed away, never recovering, on April 24th, 1791. His son, William Henry Harrison, became the 9th President of the United States, and his great-grandson, Benjamin Harrison, became the 23rd President. And that is this week's Profiles in History. That guy was absolutely fascinating to take a look at. He really was. Judging by the time we have left on the clock, it is quickly running out. Please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. If you're over on the YouTubes, please don't go anywhere, because that sound tells us that that's all the time we have for this week. And for our after the show, stick around, because that's when we're going to do the Who Said That. Because I really want to share it with you, because this guy, as you know, is a complete and utter Nimrod. He is so stuck on stupid. I mean, anyway. But God willing, the Stafford Voice will be back next week. You can follow me on Twitter at Stafford Voice. Look me up on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Snapchats, wherever you are in social media land. And I forget that we're over on Gab. I forgot to shout that out earlier. We are over on Gab, again, at Stafford Voice on Gab. It's the same handle as it is on Twitter. If you feel so obliged, you can email your questions, comments, or concerns to thestaffordvoice@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time, and until next week, thanks, and God bless.